Welcome to the Hockey in the 313 podcast, where we talk all things Red Wings in the world of NHL. Here are your hosts, Brian Donnelly, Keegan Grazioli, Zach Ola, and Dayton Vandermeer.
Guys, it is officially that time of the year again. We are in full force for the NHL draft, and it starts out right here on the Hockey in the 313 podcast as we have one of our biggest episodes of arguably the year. Now, again, we'll probably have an even bigger one come next week, we'll maybe do July 1st or 2nd or something like that. So, big episode today, guys. I'm very excited. I've been hyping this episode up for a while. Zach's been excited. Keegan's been excited. This is actually where Zach shines in his prospect Instagram. So he's very excited. I think we're all very excited for today's episode. So with that being said, let's get ready to start the NHL mock draft for the 2025 NHL draft, brought to you by the Hockey in the 303 podcast. Once again, I'm one of your hosts, Brian Donnelly, joined here by Zach Ola and Keegan. Guys, let's get straight into it. I'm excited. I think we're all excited. So we spun a wheel before this and decided who's gonna pick first. So what we're gonna do for this order is we're gonna go through all 32 picks. We are gonna start out with Zach. Zach's gonna start out with the first overall. Oh wait, no, Keegan's gonna start out with the first overall pick. Then we're gonna go to Zach. Then gonna go to me, and then that flips. So then we'll go back to Keegan, back to Zach, and then back to me, so on and so forth. For those said picks, we're gonna start out by who's your team, and then who's the player you're drafting, where did they play last year, how many points did they get, and how do they fit the team, and then we'll keep going on from there. It'll be kind of short-circuited just so we make sure that we get all 32 teams into this mock draft. But yeah, with that being said, guys, let's hop straight into pick one. And Keegan, you are on the clock as the New York Islanders.
New York Islanders.
So let's hear it. Who do you have the Islanders taking?
All right. With the first overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft, the New York Islanders are proud to select from the Erie Otters of the OHL Matthew Schaefer, defenseman. I feel like it's a pretty obvious pick. I feel like he's one of the top defensemen in the draft, offensively and defensively, and I just love his story too. How he kind of battled adversity the last couple of years with obviously his mom passing away, and just rising in the draft rankings to become one of the top draftees this year.
Yeah, Matthew Schaefer, the consensus number one pick. People are throwing in the idea of Michael Misa or James Higgins in there, but I mean, I feel like they have to go with Matthew Schaefer. Their defensive core is pretty weak. He should be a good fit for Long Island. Zach, anything you want to touch up on for Matthew Schaefer? I mean, not anything that we haven't heard of before, but is there anything that you want to throw in for Matthew Schaefer?
Yeah, so I'll go very brief kind of, but I mean, yeah, it seems like Matthew Schaefer, for a lot of us, I feel like he's been that number one since like December. You just look at him, really good at skating, and I really like some of the comparisons with him. He also compares himself to Miro Heiskanen. I can kind of see that because the skating is that dominant trait of his, and like Keane said, also the adversity he's been through with his mom passing away. And judging from interviews I've seen, he looks really professional, really mature. Like he skipped his high school graduation to go to like a children's hospital. I think to discuss or talk to the cancer patients or victims of cancer. But yeah, I think the Islanders, once again, they shouldn't overthink. Just go with Matthew Schaefer, and I think you can build around him as a pretty big top pairing guy.
Agreed. So yeah, Long Island will get their number one defenseman of the future in this draft. Hoping for big things with him after his season-ending injury that he had last season. Okay, let's move on to pick number two. Zach, you're right back at it with the San Jose Sharks. So who do you have the Sharks taking?
Well, yeah, so there's a recent rumor now of, we'll talk about this player later. I'm not going to pick him, but he's apparently not going to escape the top three, but I'm not overthinking. I don't think San Jose should overthink. right now, if I had to put in tiers, it would be Schaefer and Michael Misa at the top of this draft. And where you're getting with Michael Schaefer, this past season, there was a lot of question marks with him, especially with him being the exceptional status player a couple of years back, and his D-1 was kind of okay, I guess. So some people thought they would want more points, but this year he kind of broke out with Saginaw, and I think it was he had this in the making because Saginaw was kind of a huge veteran team last year when they won the Memorial Cup. So yeah, he had 134 points. I'm pretty sure that led the OHL, along with 62 goals. Not bad. And I think he's probably one of the smartest centers in the draft. And when you discuss the physicality, it's a little bit weak. That's something he needs to work on as he goes up to the next level. But he's very smart. I think he's sometimes he's even more smarter than his teammates. Because he makes these passes, and I don't feel like sometimes his teammates can't keep up. So with San Jose, you now got a 1-2 with Celebrini and Misa. And also, they have Misa's teammate, Igor Chernyshov, and I thought they developed some good chemistry, so I think that would be, or San Jose would be this dangerous team coming up.
Exactly. That's why I have it on.
Mm-hmm.
It's fitting for this episode, so I'm glad you did.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say Misa's been one of my favorite players to watch through the OHL the last couple of years. Obviously, he helped with a very deep run with the Spirit last year, and they won the Memorial Cup. And then this year, he only improved his game. He's very gifted offensively. And like Zach was saying, you add a 1-2 punch with Celebrini and Misa. You're adding a ton of firepower offensively. Maybe I think they would love to get first overall to get Schaefer, but I think Misa's a great consolation prize, and you add to an already young, deadly forward core in San Jose. So,
yeah. In my opinion, I think this is, I shouldn't say guaranteed, but I think this could be the highly bidded top two. So, yeah, Michael Misa to the San Jose Sharks seems like a great fit for them. And I know exactly, or Zach knows exactly who I'm going to take here. The Chicago Blackhawks for the third overall pick. I'm going to have them taking Anton Frundell.
That was the rumor.
Yeah, Zach was mentioning that he could even go number 2 to the San Jose Sharks. They're that high on him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Chicago's even more high on him, in my opinion, if he makes it there to 3. I don't think they'll go James Higgins, I'm not going to lie. Anton Frundell played for the Jargons of the Svensken in Sweden, same team as Victor Eklund, who I'm sure a lot of Red Wings fans want. For ESPN, they wrote down his NHL projection could be a second-line center and then his floor could be a third-line scoring winger. His strengths, he's very versatile. He's a two-way player, elite release and forechecking. I don't really want to say that this would be a Chicago pick, but I feel like this would be a Chicago pick. Kind of sort of off the board, not enough to the point where you're surprised by it, but they don't take the consensus number 3 overall guy. Personally, I'm not too high on Frundell. I do like his two-way game a ton, and I do think the projection with them having him as a good second-line center is perfect in my opinion. And even if he gets to a third-line winger, still good value, but just me personally, I'm taking James Higgins, but Frundell, not a terrible pick by all means, but it's definitely a Chicago pick in my mind.
I've warmed up to Frondell a little bit as I've been watching him. A little bit of spoiler alert. I kind of moved him up a little bit in my top 64 rankings, just a little bit. But I like him better as a winger, as I really like his board play and kind of what he does in the cycle. He's really big, physical. While watching this game, I also watched his playoff games, and I thought he did pretty well in the playoffs with 7 points in 16 games for Djurgården. And I like the way he kind of creates space for himself to create scoring opportunities. So even though I think James Higgins should be what Chicago needs, and I think Chicago should just say screw it and go with Higgins, because I think that would be a big help for Bedard. But I think Frondell can be that too, because I think if you can have Bedard as the main driver, and then you can have Bedard kind of giving pucks to Frondell, even though I'd say they're both scorers. But I mean, I wouldn't really say it's that much of a reach with Levshinov, but I still have a little bit of a soft spot with Frondell.
Agreed. Okay, Keegan, you are back up on the clock for pick number 4. Who is it? Utah?
Utah
Mhm.
Mammoth.
Utah Mammoth. So Keegan, give me
All
the
right.
rundown of who you're taking here and why this player, and then we'll get
All
back to
right.
that.
There's been a lot of rumors about this guy moving up to the top 4. I personally wouldn't take him. I feel like for Utah, you got to go best player available. I'd go Porter Martone. I feel
Mhm.
like like just the way he plays is a very physical player. His game I feel like reminds me a lot of Kachuk's game in the sense of very physical, very willing to get in the corners and battle, and then obviously he's more than happy to shoot the puck as well. So I feel like this would be a great pick, especially with them adding Ty Ginla last year in the offseason at the draft last year, and kind of adding to a little bit more of a deeper prospect pool. But yeah, I feel like you can't go wrong with this pick at all.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm
sorry.
Just a little quick on Martone. I haven't really watched him in a while. I'm gonna try to rewatch him a little bit again, but I know there's been some issues with him, kind of with lack of motor. Like he kind of floats in his own zone at times, but yeah, I've seen maybe at his peak he can be like a Kachuk-ish, maybe like a new age power forward. But I've heard some people say he's not really that power forward. But I think maybe coaching could make him turn around and kind of become a power forward. But yeah, I think his shot is his best aspect of his game, and yeah, obviously with the size, skating is gonna hold him back. But with Utah, they like to go big, and Keegan said they have TJ Ginla. I think this would be kind of a solid pick. I would like this pick kind of better than Brady Martin, even though I've heard rumors about that too.
That was the player I was going to say that everybody's saying is going to move up to the top 4. I don't see it, but I say if you're Utah, you got to go best player available.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the NHL draft. We've seen weird things happen.
All right. So yeah, that's Porter Martone for the Utah oh my God, I almost said the Utah Hockey Club, Utah Mammoth. We're gonna slide in through next and go through Nashville. Zach, quickly, who do you got for Nashville?
So I know for sure that Nashville's been really begging for that center, or a young center, because I remember, they want to get younger. I think they'll go with this guy. I'm not gonna say James Higgins, but I'll say Caleb Desnoyers.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a little bit on and off about Desnoyers. I thought he had a little bit of a disappointing finish to them this season, but it turns out he had a wrist injury that happened in November, I think, and he's been playing through it. But the thing is, he didn't play center at the Memorial Cup, which I thought he was kind of invisible at times. I really wanted to see how Desnoyers would play at this big of a stage. But either way, just looking at positives, he's a really smart player, kind of a tactician type of player. Once again, he's really smart as well. And I kind of view him a little bit as a Marco Casper with maybe a little bit more offense. And I would say Casper has the better skating, because I think Desnoyers needs to get a little bit better at his stride. But he can get feisty at times, I feel like, and he's really skilled. I feel like he makes some pretty good passes, and he wins most of his face-offs, especially in the queue. But the main issue is he wasn't really viewed as like a play driver on his line. He was with Yuri Pekarchik and Julius Sump, who's an overager for this draft as well. So those are kind of a little bit of red flags. But I think Nashville kind of want to, with Barry Trotz, would want to go in this like kind of safer option, especially with kind of his defensive game.
All right, so that was holy shit, Caleb Denoyer at number 5. So I'm gonna be boring here. I got Philadelphia next up on the clock, and I'm only saying this just because if he slides, there's no way Philadelphia lets him slide this far. Even though they required a centerman today who might play wing, but they traded a centerman to the opposing team that we're about to talk about. I have the Flyers taking James Higgins. If he's falling down this far, I think it's a no-brainer. They're going to take BPA, even though they just traded for Trevor Zegras. James Higgins, I mean, not a lot to say. I mean, all the film and stuff speaks for itself. Projected number 3 overall pick. His ceiling is highly likely the first-line center, and if not, second-line center. He's got such high confidence for the amount of time, or the way he plays. He's got so much offensive upside. It's incredible. He's very explosive in his transition into the offensive zone, and he's a great two-way guy you want to have out on the ice too. So, playing for Boston College, I think that Philadelphia is going to be running up the board for this guy. So yeah, that's my pick there. And then if you would have taken James Higgins at Nashville, I would have had Brady Martin going here. That's just me though.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that too. Sorry. Oh my god, I almost forgot. Okay, yeah, he's a center too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Nashville would want safer with Desnoyers, and then I feel like Philly's kind of building that an underrated skilled squad now that they got Zegras, and with the possibility of getting James Higgins as well. That could be an insane nasty team, and they already have Michkov as well.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd
Agreed.
be a great future forward core. Okay, Keegan, you're back up. Boston is now on the clock for you. Who do you have the Big Bad Bruins taking?
All right. This is such a Bruins pick right here,
I don't
but
know what you're gonna say.
I don't see them, getting past 7. I got them going Brady Martin.
Yep.
Just the physicality. He's basically built to be a Bruin. I know they do need help at center a little bit. I know that the Lindholm contract hasn't aged as well, and obviously they're missing that. I mean, the last couple of years, Bergeron, and they need help anywhere they can get it. But just his physicality, the way he plays the game, it's very much like a power forward. So like I said, he just fits to be a Bruin, and I don't see him falling any farther in the draft.
Agreed. He's kind of that, like that high riser, so we'll see what happens with him. I mean, he could go as high as here, he could go as high as 4, or he could go low as 13. All right, Zach, I'm very frustrated because I wanted to use Seattle for this because I think it'd be funny because I would be all over this pick as a kind of push away Kraken fan. Like I'm a closet Kraken fan. Like they're kind of down there for my.
I remember you had like a Kraken account, I think, when
God,
their playoff run or something.
Yeah.
You had a Kraken account? Wait,
Yeah, for like the
am I
short
missing
amount
some
of time.
lore?
Yeah,
Lore
you
here?
missed a ton of
Yeah,
lore.
you are.
So yeah,
I forgot what it was called. It was
like
when they went on a little
Kraken
run.
coverage or something like that. Only real ones know that. But yeah, Zach, you got next pick on the clock. Who are you gonna go with?
It's kind of tough right now for the Kraken, or for me picking for them. I mean, they recently have a kind of I'm pretty sure Ron Francis is still up in the front office. They got Jason Botterill now, and I know we've been kind of talking about this, that they're like this like mid team with second and third line guys or whatever. But I'm gonna go kind of a little bit of a stereotypical pick because they like to draft in the WHL, and I think they'll draft from their neck of the woods and Radim Murtka from Seattle Thunderbirds. And I kind of view him as a little bit of the Mort Sider of this draft. Well, I'm I'm not trying to do any comparisons, any of that, but I view Murka all season as him. I always thought he was very raw as a defenseman. He's a big boy at 6'6", I think, 207 pounds. Decent amount of points with 35 and 43 games. And I'd say at some points his skating can be solid. That's something he needs to work on a little bit as well. Mostly with his footwork. I could see him getting better at that. He always brings good physicality, and I think he tries his best at kind of locking down players as well, kind of keeping up a little bit. But that's something he needs to continue to build on in the NHL, or as he gets to the NHL. And I was gonna say something else.
It's
Kind of with the shooting is a little bit weird. I think he could use a better shot selection because I think he just flings pucks or whatever, and he only got 3 goals all season, which kind of shows. But I think a solid. I feel like Seattle could probably use him. I think he could be like kind of in the top 4 for Seattle but I think they'll mostly use him as kind of that defensive aspect.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll get back in here. All right, so that was Radim Murtka for the Seattle Kraken. That's exactly who I was going to pick for Seattle, so props to Zach for reading my mind there. They need the defensive prospects. We're going to get into an interesting pick here, and I mean, I'm seeing every which way with this team. It's Buffalo. Who's Buffalo going to take? At first, I had them going with Roger McQueen. I really did. I think they take the upside. But there's a guy that I see that's falling right now, and I think they run up to the board with this pick.
I think I already know who you're gonna.
So originally, I wanted this to be a Boston pick because he screams Boston, but I got Jake O'Brien going to the Buffalo Sabres. Now, again, I can't predict what they're gonna do for this. Like they could be either or. But if he's falling in the draft, I think they're gonna take him. Personally, I'm a big fan of Jake O'Brien's playing. They have a ceiling or a floor for him. Top 6 playmaking center, and then a NHL floor, a middle 6 scoring winger. He's going to be that guy. In my opinion, he's a big Sam Bennett guy, in my opinion. Like, he plays the hard minutes. He goes out there, playmakes, creative, amazing hockey IQ. I think Buffalo needs that more in their system. They have a number 1 guy in Tage Thompson. You need to build around it. A guy like Jake O'Brien will be perfect for that, playing for the Brantford. Holy cow, I can't speak. But yeah, Jake O'Brien, I have him going to the Buffalo Sabres unless something changes. But this is our mock draft, and this is where I think that he's going to go. But I will keep Roger McQueen in mind. All right, circling back to Keegan. Keegan, we got Anaheim on the clock. Who do you have them taking?
Alrighty, I think this is going to be a pretty. You said at 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got him going Victor Eklund. I feel like he just, with his playmaking and they're obviously them drafting some Swedes. I feel like it's and Leo Carlson. I feel like it makes sense for them at least to get a top winger in the draft to build on that core a little bit.
I will say, if Anaheim does that and screws us over, they should, for Beek, should do a +1 and give us John Gibson. Just saying. But yeah, I think we're all going to agree we all want Victor Eklund, but I don't think he's getting past these next 3 picks. I don't think he's getting past Anaheim. I don't think he's getting past Pittsburgh. I don't think he's getting past the Rangers. Speaking of Pittsburgh, Zach, we got the Penguins. They're picking top 15 since God knows when. Who do you have them going to potentially flourish their prospect system?
So yeah, they got the Leafs former head scout and Kyle Dubas. They kind of do weird stuff, but I'm gonna go with the fun one, and I'll say Ben Kindle.
Ooh.
I think could be a fun one. He's a little bit light off the puck, but he's a very good passer, in my opinion. Excellent playmaker. And they got I think it was teammate in Tanner Howe as well. So, I was also thinking maybe a little bit of McQueen because they took him out to dinner, but I think they'll kind of go with a little bit more of a fun passer or playmaker.
I like this pick, Zach. Good job. That was an out of the park hole there, but I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun pick right there. All right, Ben Kindle to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Next up is me for the New York Rangers, and in my opinion, I don't think they sacrificed this first round pick. I think they'll give it to Pittsburgh next year. I don't think they want Pittsburgh having back-to-back picks. With that being said, I think I'm going to say it, and this is just not my Wings biasy talking. I think they're going to go defenseman. I think they're going to go Jackson Smith out of the Tri-City Americans. Left shot defenseman, like I said, out of the WHL. I'm trying to find my profile for him. Oh, here it is. So for Jackson Smith, we did a prospect profile on him. I see a lot of upside for this guy. He's at most he'd be a top 4 defenseman, and at least he'll be an NHL regular, in my opinion. I think he's a very, very reliable defenseman. He's a big physical guy, and I think a lot of teams value that, especially when you're the New York Rangers. You need a little physicality on that team. We saw it for the past couple years. They had Reeves, they got Rempe. You throw a guy like Jackson Smith in there, I think he's going to do wonders for that team. He's very, very good in transition in the defensive zone. He's very, very mobile, passing the puck. Great puck mover at that as well. He's just an all-around defenseman that I think can be a terrific top 4 guy for the Rangers. So that's who I have going for the Rangers. And, I mean, I would be surprised if Roger McQueen is there and they take him.
Also,
right.
quickly,
go.
He's committed.
Penn State.
We are Penn State.
No. Screw the Nittany Lions.
Probably their biggest prospect ever.
And it's because of that
hockey.
Final Four. It's because of that Final Four.
Mm.
All right, so the Red Wings are now on the clock, and with that being said, we're all going to jump into this pick and who's on the board. We're going to go over who we want, and then quickly we just jump to the next person. So, Keegan, start us off. Who do you want the Red Wings to take with the board falling like this?
All right, drum roll, please. I got the Red Wings selecting Carter Bear.
Ooh, yep.
I think he's just too. I think he's too skilled not to have. And as much as I would love McQueen, just imagine him, being in the red with a 95 jersey.
Oh man,
just saying that
don't
was
put
so
my hopes up.
But I gotta go Carter Bear. I think just the way he skates and just his offensive upside, I think it's too much not to pass up, and I feel like he's just what we are looking for in prospects right now.
Yep. All right, Keegan, who's your pick?
I said.
Oh, Keegan, sorry, Zach. Holy shit! Oh my god. Sorry. Go, Zach.
Obviously, Victor Eklund would be my number 1 pick, but in this scenario, I mean, I'd probably go with Bear as my second option. I think Carbonneau is a little bit enticing as well, but once again, with Carter Bear, he's got that high motor. He's really intense. He gets in your face, and I feel like he's a guy that in the playoffs he's that type of guy that you would need in the playoffs who can help you keep possession, win puck battles, and all that. I'm just imagining. I think with the possibility he might look good with the guy with Brandstad Nygaard and Nate Danielson as a very intense line. But, I mean, we shall see.
All right, you guys took all my answers, so now the fact that I have to do this, I have to go with how the board lies. I'm also not going to take McQueen here. I'm going to lay off of that. I'm going to go to a guy who actually Rayan just mentioned that we've met with before and after the Combine. Zach just mentioned him. I would like the Red Wings to go Carbonneau, but I will say, like how Zach said, I want Eklund first, then Carter Bear, and then Justin Carbonneau. Actually, wait. Victor Eklund, Cole Reshny, Carter Bear.
Oh, yeah, him too.
Sorry,
Reshny.
Oh my god, I'm getting it all confused. Victor Eklund, Carter Bear, Cole Reshny, and then Justin Carbonneau. But like I said in the group chat, I'd be fine with anyone at this pick. But I'm going to go Justin Carbonneau with this pick here. I really like how he's played. I've watched some film on him. For his projections, he's a second line scoring forward, and at least he's a middle six forward. You could never have too much depth scoring, in my opinion, if that's what it is. He's such a confident guy when he goes out on the ice shift by shift, and that's all you can ask for is this big confidence. Um, he's got a powerful stride. He's a good playmaker, terrific playmaker. I made added that. He's got a sweet set of hands that I think could work wonders in the Red Wings depth system. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping for the best for whoever we pick. But yeah, like I said, Bear, Eklund if he's still on the board, McQueen if we take him and take the risk, Cole Reshny, Carbonneau, Lakovic. Like I'd be fine with anyone at this spot. But yeah, so we have Keegan taking Carter Bear, we have Zach taking Carter Bear, and then we got me taking being boring and taking Carbonneau. Okay, let's roll into pick 14 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Keegan, you're back up on the clock, man.
Alrighty. Honestly, I see him taking the risk, and this is tough. I got him going Logan Hensler defense. I feel like they want to maybe add on defense a little bit more. I feel like they're really close to kind of getting out of that weird territory, and I feel like they can take maybe a defensive defenseman a little bit more to bolster their roster a little bit more, and maybe he might not play top 6 minutes, but he's definitely going to be might make the roster and play a key role in their bottom pairing shutdown role.
Yeah. That's a I shouldn't say left out or left field pick, but I mean you still got a guy like Kashan Aitchison who's up there, so you never know, man. All right. So yeah, Logan Hensler for Keegan to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Zach, you're up with Vancouver next at pick 15.
I have no idea what Vancouver will do. Honestly, they're kind of weird when it comes to prospects recently.
Seriously.
It's been hard for them to develop, I think. Hopefully Lecker Maki becomes a thing, but I mean, I'm just gonna say screw it, and I think they'll go like Jack Nesbitt.
Wow.
Because I've seen him rise up for some reason, and once again, if I'm gonna be a little bit honest, I've barely watched him, but when I watched him, I think his skating was a little bit choppy at points, and I think it was better than his D-1, but I mean. He's like a big physical forward. I feel like Vancouver would kind of go in that direction. I mean, we'll see. That they always kind of do some weird thing in the draft. It's not really their forte, in my opinion, in kind of the past 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen like how bad they've developed their prospects in Jonathan Lecker-Mackey, Nils Hoglander. I mean, you could even make the argument that Patterson hasn't really turned out. I mean, he did, but like the future's very bleak with him. So they're just a weird team. I do think Jack Nesbitt could be a potential fit for them. But yeah, it's just, again, man, it's just such a weird like fit for them because I see Nesbitt as like a middle six guy, nothing more than like just that. So, but you never know. They see something in him that we don't. Like it's just unexpected for them. All right, so we have back-to-back picks here. Montreal's picking here at 16, and then 17. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, fellas. I don't think Roger McQueen's falling this far, so for shits and giggles, let's just take Roger McQueen here. Highly anticipated as one of the top first overall picks before he got injured. You could make the argument for that. But yeah, I don't think he's falling this far, but the way that our mock draft has been falling, I think this is where he ends up, especially with Montreal being where they're at now. So, yeah, Roger McQueen, he's got all the tools to be the first line like center, man. I mean, it's just wild how far we're having him drop. But I mean, you never know with injuries like this. Actually, I saw something that ESPN has his floor being an injured, shortened, centered. So like something like Nolan Patrick or something. So I'm like, damn, that was brutal. But yeah, if McQueen hits, man, he hits. I mean, he's got speed, terrific puck handling, man. Like It's incredible. He's got a quick release on his shot, and he's got the size. Like, just all around one of the better players if he hits in this draft. But like you see with Cade Lindstrom, like his how bad his injury was. He didn't play a ton. Could be the same thing for him, could be different, but like I'm just saying it right now, I'd take the risk. I would take the risk if I were the Red Wings. But I have him slipping all the way to the Montreal Canadiens for pick 16, and then we're gonna turn it back, and then Keegan, you're gonna have them pick here at 17.
Ready. Yeah, this is tough. Um, I think that they're gonna go uh Braden Coots.
Coots, huh?
I was gonna pick him for Calgary.
But
He'd be such a Calgary fit. That was kind of
Yeah.
but I mean if they're already adding, McQueen, who's a forward, I feel like, if they want to get more solid in their bottom pair, I feel like Coots would be a good pick for them.
hmm. Yeah. I mean, personally, I think he's a full Calgary Flame. But definitely an interesting pick. They're going with Coots. I mean, I personally would have went with a guy like Reshny. But yeah,
Hmm.
so Brandon Coots going to Calgary, and then Zach, that follows you up. Who do you got? Who do you got Calgary taking?
Hmm.
That is that
I'm
is
trying to think a little bit. You know what? I'll go what you said in Cole Reshny. He finished his year strong, especially with Canada at the U18s. I mean, and also he was pretty good with Victoria in the WHL playoffs. I mean, I'm just really interested because I really want him to be an NHLer, and there were some risks that I was kind of looking at because it looked like he was kind of shy from contact, and he'd kind of float in his own zone at some points, but he's kind of, it feels like kind of that big offensive guy. Well, he's not big, I don't think, but like he kind of have that a little bit dynamic. I wouldn't say he's like totally dynamic, but you kind of get what I mean.
hmm.
But I mean, Calgary, they kind of did that last year with Zane Parekh and Andrew Basha in the second round. So another Western hockey league guy. So I think that could also Calgary needs some scoring as well. So I
Agreed.
feel like he can bring some good offense or offensive capabilities.
Yeah. I mean, I love Cole Reshny. I've seen
Mm.
all of his film. I would be incredibly happy if the Red Wings took him, but you never know unless they trade back or something. But yeah, Cole Reshny going to the Calgary Flames. Now, next up, I have the St. Louis Blues going with a defenseman here, who I think they need defensive help bad. I have them taking a Kitchener Ranger. I have them taking Cameron Reed. Cameron Reed,
Hmm.
out of the OHL last year. I really like his play. I think he's a great defenseman in my eyes. I think he can be a future top four guy for them, or at least I say this with a lot, but like a lot of like this is a deep draft class, and there's not a ton of defensemen but the defensemen that are there are pretty damn good, and I like Cameron Reed. I really like his play. He's got high confidence. He's a tremendous skater. He's great in transition play along with his hockey sense, and that's all you can really ask for in a defenseman like Cameron Reed. You want your defenseman to be confident. You want them to be good skating, especially with how well they back check. You want them to be good in the defensive and offensive zone. That comes with the transition play, what he has in the hockey sense. You have to have hockey IQ in order to be a defenseman. So I think Cameron Reed, in my opinion, is a sleeper defenseman. So I really like him, and I think the Blues are getting a really good pick here in defenseman like him.
He's another pretty good skater as well.
hmm
Really like his skating. I need to watch more of him.
And that's something you can't really teach that well with skating. Like
Hmm.
you have to be born with it, and it's just how you have to play it. And I think Reed could be a very good guy. You can throw it in any situation, especially on the PK, and he can thrive in that role. All right, Keegan, we're going to circle it back and have you go to pick 20 for the Columbus Blue Jackets, their second pick in the first round. So, who do you got them taking?
I got them taking Colin Potter from
Mm-hmm.
Arizona State.
One of Keegan's
Feel like-
favorites.
Yeah, but I feel like he just fits the you know, like a guy that can score, a guy who can play physically. I feel like that's a guy that they're trying to build around, and maybe he can. I mean, I feel like a lot of jobs are up in Columbus. I feel like a lot of younger guys are going to take that next step. So I feel like he's a guy that maybe can slot into that lineup and have a pretty high impact.
Yeah, I mean, Zach,
Mhm.
Zach can write a book about Colin Potter and how much he likes him. I didn't really know a ton about him until I started watching film, but I'll have Zach. I'll have you talk a little bit about Colin Potter here.
So yeah, once again, I just really like him because he's just an excellent skater, and I feel like he's kind of that dynamo, especially as a freshman at Arizona State, where he kind of had nothing to go with. He's got underrated shot and scoring abilities, I thought, and I think he had like 19 goals or something. He like outscored James Higgins in his freshman year, which is something to keep in mind. He did have more points, but I think he had more goals. Sorry, I know I should have done research a little bit, but
You're all good, man. No worries. I just know you like Colin Potter.
once again, I really like his defense has been underrated as well. He's kind of smart. He's like kind of a go-getter as well, and in a place with Columbus where they have a guy like Gavin Brindley who I really liked as well, and he kind of fell because he was short as well, and that I think that would be a perfect match for the Blue Jackets, and they'd have some more of that depth scoring.
Yeah. I mean, you nailed it on the head pretty well there, Zach. So the Arizona State prospect, Colin Potter, goes to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Zach, you're then going to follow up and take every Red Wings fan's hated team. You got Ottawa on the clock at pick 21. The first playoff team. Who do you got?
Boo! Boo!
We hate Ottawa.
Fuck Ottawa.
Oh boy.
Jeez. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a very Ottawa pick.
Oh boy.
And since this guy's available, I think he could probably go higher. But I'm gonna go with Kashawn Aitchison. And I have a little bit of an up and down view on him. I know some people have him in the 40s, some people kind of top 10, but I think at 21's kind of that perfect in between. Like, I mean, Ottawa took Gabe Eliason, who's only known for his hitting, and I think Aitchison's kind of known as that clutch factor, also hitting as well. But what annoys me with Aitchison the most is kind of I feel like he's all over the place as a defenseman at points. Like, he can be on his opposite side at some points, and he can leave some key forwards open, and if those forwards were able to get the puck, they could probably stir some dangerous chances, and Aitchison isn't there to attack it, and he's more of a guy that kind of plays the body than the puck. Like, he's very physical, and with that physicality, he could sometimes be out of position. But I really like his shot in that offensive sense. Like, he's got a clutch one-timer. Like I said in the draft profile, he had like a game-winning goal for the Barrie Colts. But yeah, like, I think this is a stereotypical Ottawa pick with them kind of being a little bit of a smash mouth style hockey. He's also got that big personality, and I feel like teams would kind of hate him.
That's a terrific pick, Zach. I mean, I think that's in the sweet spot of where Aitchison can go, because I see mock drafts having him go as early as pick 11 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I see people have Columbus taking him. I think this is right in the sweet spot. I think this is definitely an Ottawa pick, like you said. All right, the next guy I have up here for the Philadelphia Flyers, they actually got this pick from the Colorado Avalanche. I have the Philadelphia Flyers taking a guy in All right, hold up. Actually, I need to check. Who did they take with the 6th overall pick?
I think we had him with
Yep,
Higgins.
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 Okay, I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure because I have them taking a defenseman here. I have them taking Sasha Boumediene.
Median.
Boumediene. Okay, wanted to make sure I didn't butcher the shit out of that. Sasha Boumediene, Boston University prospect. Left. I don't know what's with me in left shot defenseman, man. I take it's ridiculous. He's from what I see, he's a guy that really doesn't like stick out to me a ton. At Boston last year, he had 3 goals, 10 assists, and 13 points. I think he's a very high-motored defensive defenseman who his entire career hasn't really put up a ton of points, but for a team like Philadelphia and the system that they run, I think this could be a tremendous fit for them. You don't really got.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You don't have
Sorry.
no. Zach. You're fine. Feel free to interrupt me at any time. They don't really have a ton of those defensive pipeline prospects. So I think getting a guy like James Higgins and then Boumediene, I'm gonna say I think that it's a home run pick for them. I mean, maybe they would have wished for a guy like Cameron Reed or Logan Hensler or Sean Aitchison to fall, but I think Boumediene is a terrific defensive guy and will fit their system tremendously. So great pick from Philadelphia here. I'm interested to see where you guys go for these next few picks because there's a specific guy that I have on my mock draft that, uh, teams should get weird and draft this guy if they really want to. But yeah, so for the next pick, Zach, you got the Nashville Predators again. Or sorry, not Zach. Keegan.
Would it be?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Keegan, you got the Nashville Predators up.
Alrighty.
Please take the guy that I want.
I'm probably not going to, but I got Malcolm Spence for the Erie Otters.
Yep, he's been falling. Michigan commit,
So-
go blue.
Yeah,
Said he really likes the campus, so that's pretty good from
But
the
yeah,
CHL guy.
I just feel like they're looking for anything at this point. I feel like he's he might not be there when in the next couple of years because he's going to be playing at Michigan. But I mean, whenever the Predators are ready to have him on the team, or whenever he's ready, he's going to go after and just be a killer for them.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's Malcolm Spence, Erie Otters prospect. That's actually Nashville's second pick in the first round. Along them and Nashville both have 3 first-round picks, and mind you, these are not this is a full mock draft with no trades. So, I mean, they easily could trade these picks away, but for us, it's just all picks, no trades. And yeah. All right, Zach, we have the LA Kings next up on the board. Who do you got them take?
Oh, jeez. If I'm gonna be honest right now, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. The Kings are weird. They got lucky that why am I blanking on his name? Green Tree fell to them, and he had an awesome season. So you know what? I have this player ranked a little bit in this range, but it's a little bit. I feel like it could fit that mold, and I'm gonna go with what the Kings have. And once again, I have this player in this range. I'm gonna go with Shane Van Sagy from Michigan State.
Yep.
Some people kind of view him a little bit of this pick being a little bit too high, but I view Van Sagy as kind of a really good complementary piece to a top skill line because he brings in that wrecking ball factor. I really like his defense, and he has all that kinds of physicality, and also he's shown some brief moments of how he can be skilled. It's just that he doesn't really use that well, or it's not really there to shine with him or whatever. And I think the offensive capabilities in that might be limited, but if you put him at a top line with some skill, I think maybe he'd be nice with a guy like Quentin Byfield. And yeah, I think he'd be kind of that nice piece. And the Kings are kind of building something a little bit big as well.
Shane Vash, We're all pretty familiar with him, especially being from the Michigan area. Kind of, I would say, throwing a wrench in the prospect mock draft here, but definitely an interesting pick. Um, but yeah. All right. Next up, we have the Chicago Blackhawks, and I am up. Let me scroll through my guy on who I have them picking. Where is it? Oh, shoot, I lost it. Oops. Oh, here it is. Okay, I have the Chicago Blackhawks taking a right shot defenseman. I have Blake Fiddler from the Edmonton Oil Kings going to the Blackhawks. They took a centerman and Frundell. I think they're going to turn around and take a defenseman. I mean, what shot is for Levshinev again, Zach?
Um,
I want to say left shot.
I think he was left-handed. I forgot. Or
It's
Oh,
These
geez.
guys are all left-handed.
yeah, seriously. But yeah, I have it switching up now, and I have them taking a right shot defenseman. So, yeah, last season from the Edmonton Oil Kings, he had 10 goals, 23 assists for 33 points, so just under a half a point per game pace. Just over by 1 point. Blake Fiddler, is a guy. He's kind of right in that sweet spot of a middle age for this draft. He turns 18 July 9th, so a couple days after the draft. I think this could be a tremendous pick for for the Blackhawks. He's a big 6'4" defenseman, and he could do wonders on that blue line for the years to come. They have Alex Vlasic, Arton Levshinev, Kevin Korchinski, and now you add a guy like Blake Fiddler into the mix. I think could be a great pick. He's a big-sized, potential offensive defenseman for them, maybe even two-way if you want to classify that, if he works in his defensive capabilities. But yeah, Blake Fiddler, I have the Blackhawks taking him.
sorry, just quick update. Levshinov, is a righty.
Okay, well he'll sit behind him because then you got Kevin Korchinski, and then you got Vlasic, and then on the right side you got Levshinev, and then
Whatever side Rinzel was, I forgot.
yeah. Okay, Keegan, you're up next. You have the Nashville Predators for the third and final pick. I hope you I hope you take this guy. You better take this guy.
God, I don't know. Is it? God, I don't know.
With Nashville, they shouldn't take this guy. So no, you don't have to take him.
I think that they'll go. God, you
don't have to take. I'm just saying.
No, you're fine. I think that they'll go. William Horkoff.
Mm-hmm.
Our AGM son.
But I think like I said, for Nashville, you're just trying to get anything at this point. Like just high end guys. You're kind of getting more into like second round guy territory a little bit. But he'll still go first round, I feel like.
I'm not really too familiar with Horkoff, so I mean, even with him being the assistant GM's son, I'm not familiar with him one single bit. But yeah. Okay, Zach, you got the Washington Capitals next. Who do you got the Caps taking?
Once again, I'm gonna kind of go a little bit off the board. I mean, I thought they went off the board when taking Tarek Parasek last year that high, but you know what? I could see this guy going in the 20s, and I'm going to go with Riker Lee, another Michigan State commit. But I watched the USHL a lot this year, and Riker Lee was one of my favorite players. I think he's definitely one of those top skilled guys. Just incredible hands, and he's works well with his players especially at Madison. I kind of feel like he has that dynamic sense, and I just can't wait to see what he could do in that NCAA level. But also, I'd like to see him get more physical, I'm just wondering how he'll do with that physical pressure when it comes to the pro level. Because I feel like he wasn't really getting into that much of physical situations, but I think he's really good at positioning, and kind of finding his teammates through passing lanes, and I think Washington would pick up a nice kind of skilled guy at this range.
Guys, our mock draft is a little screwed up. We are missing two
I mean,
guys.
this draft is wide open.
Right.
I mean,
We're missing.
I'm having a hard time piecing out the draft as well.
Same.
We completely forgot about Lyndon Lakovich and Carbonell. Oh wait, no, I picked Carbonell. Never mind. That's fine.
Oh, Lakovich. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No. Oh, that's one of my
Oh, we're
boys as
chopped.
well.
Everyone's gonna be like flooding us, just saying, where's Lakovich? Oh my goodness. Oh, damn it, dude.
This is not by we're just chopped.
Yeah, we're just chopped. Okay, well, life goes on. We'll keep running with it. Okay, next up for the Winnipeg Jets, I have them taking Henry Brutso. How do you pronounce it? Brucevich. I can't pronounce this dude's name for shit. Brucevich, he's a London Knight, right shot defenseman. Winnipeg, I think, needs defensive prospects terribly. I was looking through his stats, and I mean, for him being on the London Knights, and he didn't see a ton of production his first year with them. He had 6 points in 52 games his draft minus 1 year, and then
Sorry, that was kind of understandable. He was like the 7th defenseman.
Oh, he was
last year, yeah.
Well, he didn't.
And I think this year he played with Dickinson.
Oh, so his point productions might be a little flooded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he had 42 points in 67 games. Okay. 42 points in 67 games this season. I think he's a high-motor defenseman that the Winnipeg Jets need desperately in their prospect pool. And I hate taking defensemen so much, but just I have all the teams that need defensemen, so what more can I do? Okay. Keegan, you have the Carolina Hurricanes and another weird team on the clock right now. Who you got them taking?
All right, I got them taking Bill
Zonon.
One
of my guys as well. And I think Carolina could do this as well.
I think they will. I think this just it feels like a Carolina pick. I don't know why, but Carolina always gets weird with their draft picks. Like I feel like they're good at drafting, in the later rounds, but their first round picks are always like kind of like a head scratcher a little bit. So I feel like this would be a very Carolina pick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you didn't go for a Russian like Muskegon legend Ivan Rybak. Oh my God, Rybakin. Can't. Ryabkin. Yeah. Okay. Zach, you have your final pick of the mock draft today, in the San Jose Sharks. So with your final pick, who are you gonna take? You should just say screw it. You should just say screw it and just take Lakovich.
Yeah, should I at this point? I mean, if we're being realistic, I don't see Lakovich getting past Montreal in my opinion.
You know what we could do? Let's switch San Jose with Vancouver. So let's have Nesbitt going to San Jose and Lakovich going to.
You know what? Yeah, I can see that.
I think that's more realistic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
agreed.
Just talk about Lakovich, and then we'll just say he's a Vancouver pick.
Yes. Yeah. Once again, Lakovich, kind of short because we did a profile on him. He was on a poor team. He was responsible for most of his production with Moose Jaw. He needs to work on kind of getting more into puck battles and physicality, but as I think it's 6'4", he's very skilled, very high offensive, and he's a guy who doesn't really kind of plays for his size.
All right, so technically that is Lyndon Lakovich at pick 15 for the Vancouver Canucks, and Jack Nesbitt would be for the Sharks. And guys, for my final pick, I'm going to get very weird here. I'm going to get incredibly weird, and I had the Flyers taking we had the Flyers taking a forward, we had the Flyers taking a defenseman.
Oh, I know where you're going. I know, and I like it.
And we are gonna round it out by taking Joshua Ravensburg, the goalie out of
Mhm.
Prince George, at
That'd
pick
be
31.
such
I
a-
can definitely see it. I think.
If they
I
don't,
could-
if they
I
don't
could-
trade any of their first round picks, I 100% see them like overhauling and getting their number one guy at each position. Joshua Ravensburg, there's a debate between him and what's his face? He just committed to Michigan,
Ivan
Ivankovic.
Kovic.
So yeah, I think there's a bit of a debate to see who's number one goalie, but in my opinion, I've always liked how Ravensburg looks, but you never know, or Ravensburgen has looked. You never know with teams, they could have him slipping out of the first round, stuff like that. He didn't have the best year with the Prince George Cougars this past year, posting up a .901 save percentage and a 3.0 goals against average. But he is a huge goalie at 6'5", and we all know about huge goalies and how much about that. He's a bit of a late birthday. November. He's 18 years old already. He will be turning 19 in late November. But yeah, I think he's another project goalie. In my opinion, I think he's a straight Sebastian Cossa. I'm just gonna say it right now. I think he's a Sebastian Cossa. So we'll see what happens with him. He just has to be developed right, in my opinion. And yeah, I think Philadelphia goes 1, 2, 3, forward, defenseman, and goalie, and takes Joshua Ravensburgen.
I feel like that'd be a good draft for them just overall.
And yeah, they desperately need to find that homegrown talent goalie.
Samuel Harrison hasn't worked. We don't want to talk about Carter Hart.
Yes.
That's a
They also took Bjarnason. Who knows how he'll come out. And they also have a Russian guy in Igor Zhuravgin. I think that's how you say it. But
Don't they have Ivan Fedotov?
Fedotov. Oh yeah, he's big as well. He played a couple of games, but I think he was a little bit underwhelming.
I just think they're going to go out and try and get that number one guy. And he could be a number or 1A or a 1B, and I think the Flyers would be happy.
Agreed.
All right, Keegan, we have the final pick of the 2025 NHL Mock Draft. Who do you have the Calgary Flames taking with the final pick?
I got Riker Lee.
Zach already picked Riker Lee.
Oh, shoot.
You know,
I have an idea that I think that they could go with, but yeah, sorry.
Did we go with Milton Gester? Oh, no, we did already.
I don't think
we
so.
didn't go Milton Gastron yet.
Yeah, I'll go Milton Gastron then.
Moto hockey player, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, who did you want him to take there?
Oh, I mean, I was also thinking I was thinking of Gastrin, but also this guy as well, and Eric Nilsson.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his dad played for the Flames as well, so I feel like the Flames like to go with these type of players. Kind of, he's like a high motor guy as well. I need to watch a little bit more of him as well, but I feel like he's a first rounder, and he's another guy committed to Michigan State who just committed recently. So it'll be awesome to see him in the NCAA level.
A lot of the guys committing.
Mm-hmm. It's the thing now. I'm surprised none of us took Haxo Wong, the first Chinese player ever.
Yeah, Simon Wang. He's
That
like
holy shit! Wow, I'm gonna have.
Or he has two names. He has two names.
I'm going to have
I think
every
it's
Chinese.
Ho Chi. I think it's Ho Chi Wang and
Brian's
Simon
canceled.
Wang.
Yeah, seriously. I might get canceled. I'm sorry to anyone out there. I cannot pronounce shit. I butcher everything. Sorry about that. Okay, so that will wrap up the 2025 NHL Mock Draft presented by the Hockey in the 3-on-3 podcast. So let's go over each pick. First overall, Keegan took Matthew Schaefer. Second overall pick, Zach took Michael Misa. Third overall, the Blackhawks for me took Anton Frundell. Utah at 4, Keegan picked Porter Martome. Nashville at 5, Zach took Caleb Denoye. Philadelphia at 6 took James Hagan for me. I'm going to lose track of this already. Holy cow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 for Boston. Keegan took Brady Martin. 8 for Seattle. Zach took Radim Murtka. 9 for Buffalo. I took Jake O'Brien. Actually, I'll just pull up the mock draft right here. That's so much easier than randomly guessing. Holy cow. Number 10, Keegan had the Ducks taking Victor Eklund. Number 11, Zach had Pittsburgh taking Ben Kindle. 12, I had the New York Rangers taking left shot defenseman Jackson Smith. The Red Wings, Keegan had them going with Bear, Zach had them going with Bear, and then I had them going for Carbonneau. Columbus, for pick 14, Keegan had them going with Logan Hensler. 15, we switched it, and Zach went for Vancouver to take Lyndon Lakovich. 16, Montreal, I had them taking Roger McQueen. 17, Keegan had them taking Brendan Coots. 19, I had the St. Louis Blues taking Kitchener defenseman Cameron Reed. 20th, we had Keegan taking Colin Potter. 21, Zach had them taking Kashawn Aitchison. 22, I had them going Sasha Boumedian. Nashville at 23, Keegan had them taking Malcolm Spence. Oh, I lost it. Oopsies. Okay. 24, we had Zach taking Shane Vance. How do you pronounce it?
I think it's Vinsagi.
25, we had the Blackhawks taking Blake Fidler. 26, Nashville for William Horkov. 27, the Washington Capitals going with Riker Lee. Winnipeg going with Henry I can't pronounce it. Brustevich. Carolina at 29 picking Bill Zonin. 30th, the Sharks taking Jack Nesbitt. Philadelphia at 31 going with goaltender Joshua Ravensbergen. And finally, the final pick of the NHL draft, we had Calgary taking Milton Gastrin. Holy cow. Sorry, fellas. That was a lot of names.
Too much.
I'd also like to throw in a little teaser right here. Let's just say me and Keegan have something going on that I'll have Keegan tell the audience on what's going to be happening on Friday.
All right. So we will be doing interviews for just random people at the draft for Hockey Town, whether it be at the sale tent or and at the restaurant. We're just going to be asking random people, hey, who do you think the Red Wings are going to take with the 13th overall pick, or do you think whatever they feel like we do with it? So
free agent signings, who do you want to see make a trade? Who's your favorite Red Wings? Just a bunch of
exactly all these cool questions. So I feel like
fan submitted answers will go with it. So catch us at Hockey Town Cafe on Friday. We're very excited. It's going to be so much fun.
I'll be there
Growing
early.
our fan base.
Me and Keegan will be sure to get a table so we can all, enjoy our time there and make a video. But yeah, I will make a post about it and just in advance so everyone knows about it. All right, guys, that'll wrap up the 2025 Hockey in the 313 podcast mock draft. I thank both of you guys for coming on tonight. I know this was a big episode, a lot of thinking, a lot of backtracking for all these prospects. Zach, I
never miss any draft stuff.
Zach, I know
that's what I do.
I'm so happy I got the Red Wings one though too, because I'm like, man, if I don't get the Red Wings one, like, what am I doing?
I kind of think we all have to do the Red Wings one. It's
absolutely. It's so worth it though.
But yeah, thank you both for coming on tonight and doing this. I know you guys have a lot of work schedule shit going on, so I appreciate.
My God.
I have a job.
I appreciate you guys taking the time
bros
every day.
Putting the slur out there.
I will say, sorry to butt in, but quick announcement for my page. I'm gonna release my top 64 this week, hopefully by Thursday or whatever. And that's it. And I'll have you guys go over it, whatever questions you want, and then I'll be happy to discuss later what the Red Wings picks in future episodes as well.
But this week is that.
This week is gonna be hectic for me, and I'm just excited. The start of a brand new NHL season.
But yeah,
Same.
guys, make sure.
I already miss hockey.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah, guys, make sure to follow Next Gen Prospects and be sure to watch out for me and Keegan at the draft party on Friday. Again, I'll make a post about it. We'll put everything in the details that you guys need to know. All right, with that being said, guys, thank you for listening to episode 13 of the Hockey in the 313 podcast. Once again, I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined by Zach and Keegan. We'll catch you guys Friday at the NHL draft party, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode where we'll talk free agency. And above all, guys, Let's go Red Wings, and let's see who we're going to pick at pick 13.